Now, here's your Storm Tracker weather forecast with meteorologist Mike Hurd.
Numerous reports of valley snow in that 6 to 10 inch range, but some of the most totals, the heavier totals, are in these cities before you. And keep in mind, these are preliminary. It's still snowing in many regions, so these aren't the storm totals once it comes to an end. But we've had about a foot of snow in Bozeman and Butte and Anaconda out towards Georgetown Lake, closing in on 10 inches, and same for the Livingston area. As you look at the big picture view, there's a long fetch of moisture extending as far south as the Hawaiian Islands. Long atmospheric river, we call this, and it's streaming up into central and northern California, but it's also moving up into Idaho and clipping southern Montana. So there's still a tremendous amount of storm energy yet to trickle through this region. Now, it's lifting a little bit farther to the north of I-90 at this hour, but it will continue to slowly sink back down into southwest Montana later tonight and throughout the day tomorrow. So winter storm warnings are up from Missoula to Miles City, Great Falls down to Butte, down towards the Idaho state line. West of the Divide, warnings are out through 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. East of the Divide, they're up until 5 p.m. tomorrow because additional snow, additional wind, and very complicated travel is expected to continue. Around West Yellowstone, southern Madison, southern Gallatin counties, we have an avalanche warning rated high on all slopes. Natural and human-triggered avalanches are certainly a possibility. So we're going to let this model just play out over the next 24 to 48 hours. And again, I just want to continue to show you that there's just this long fetch of moisture that's going to continue to bring off and on chances for snow into Tuesday, Wednesday. As long as that low sits off the California and Washington state coast, it continues to bring up a southwesterly flow. Now, all that moisture is overrunning Arctic air that's been sitting here for the last couple of weeks. So let's slow down, take a look at the high resolution model, walk you through this hour by hour. And again, most of it's lifting to the north of us, but we'll watch this whole thing kind of sink back towards the south overnight. So off and on banding of snow is a possibility throughout your Tuesday. That continues into Tuesday evening, and even as we get into early Wednesday morning, there's still a lot of snow potential here across southwestern Montana. It will begin to taper by the early morning hours on Thursday, but Thursday into Friday, there still could be a few rogue bands of snow trickling through the region. So again, this is a long duration snow event. So how much additional snow could we see by the time we get into about midday on Thursday? I don't know if you want to know or not. I mean, good grief, we could see another 2 feet around West Yellowstone, could see another 6 to 8 inches in Bozeman, and possibly up to 2 to 4 or 4 to 8 inches in the Butte area. So a lot of potential storm energy still moving through the region. And again, the cold right now. 1 below in Belgrade and Bozeman. High today was 0 at the airport, 4 below the morning low, and winds blowing some of that snow around. Snow continues to rage on in Butte. We're sitting at the big old goose egg right now for a current temperature. And again, it didn't really warm up or drop off much. So you can see a lot of Arctic air continues to sit over Montana. The exception is West Yellowstone. They're sitting at 30 degrees. Factor in some wind and it feels much, much colder. Teens and 20s below 0 even locally. So the breakdown for tonight is the same pattern we've been stuck with all day. Bitter cold, chance for snow. Accumulations are possible. Models continue to be highly varied in their resolution, but we could pick up another 3 to 4 inches in some areas and a little bit more in others. But again, just a brutal wintry evening. Tomorrow, only in the single digits towards Helena, but around 21 in Dillon. Off and on snow in the area, could pick up more in the way of accumulations, and winds could continue to blow it around. As you move south and eastward, varied overnight lows. If you get along I-90 northward below 0, down around West Yellowstone staying above, but additional snow, additional wind, complicating travel severely for tonight's commute, tomorrow morning's commute, and possibly even into your Tuesday evening commute as well. So the extended outlook holding into the teens for daytime highs, but we should jump up briefly to about 30 on Thursday. And then once the snow comes to an end late week into the weekend, the cold moves back in with below average highs and below 0 lows. For Butte, several more days of snow is possible. It's not going to be snowing all day Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but watch out for accumulations with off and on banding. In Dillon, we'll pick up some scattered snow showers over the next 2 to 3 days and turning colder but drier heading into the weekend and possibly below 0 at night. In West Yellowstone, moderate to heavy snow is likely over the next 3 days. Turns more scattered by the time we get into the weekend. And again, generally looking at a colder weather pattern the closer to the weekend we get down there in around West Yellowstone. So avalanche danger down there is going to continue to be very high.
Thanks, I guess. All right, Nick Petriccioni's with sports right now. We've got the Special Olympics happening.
Some of the best athletes at the biggest resort in Big Sky. That event was today in the stories.